Hey everyone. So ByuN was
Hi.
AFK or something, I guess. But he's back, and we should be getting videos underway for this rematch. So they're already out of the group. This match telling who else will join Scarlet and Gumiho in the finals day, final round of 4.
That's right, we already got 2 Zergs, 1 Terran. Will Hurricane repeat his performance against ByuN and become the first Protoss in the round of 4? We will see. Or it could be 2T, 2P, 2Z, rather. Shout out quickly before the game starts to 7-year Twitch for 16 months in a row of resub, and Rude Boy 2 months Twitch Primage.
Nice.
I think it was actually a fresh sub earlier on as well.
Bashful Bill.
Twitch Primage. You found him.
Prime sub. Thank you very much.
Nice.
Of course, we appreciate any support here in the channel. You can also go to !Matcherino and support, well, not just the players, although primarily the players increase their prize pool for these monthly finals, I guess. It feels kind of weird saying finals because, you know, it used to be like the weeklies in the finals, this is groups in the finals, but anyways, in the finals. But also continuing to support the mega tournaments prize pool. Well, not prize pool, actually, just the fundraising that we had going on. So !Mega for that as well. They have finally started on the vetoes.
Yep, no one wants to play Sequencer tonight. I don't blame them.
Oh yeah, Sequencer. I mean...
Squeensy,
yeah,
as Hurricane
made fun of
called it.
Hurricane's way of spelling it, but...
Oh, look at that Odyssey spelling. Oditsia.
I love how much he's like, he knows how to pronounce it, like, you know, kudos, but he's just, he's never looked at it before. Everything's in Korean.
Yeah. Hurricane is trying to phonetically spell, guys, and it's adorable. We wish we could share it with you.
Yeah.
We probably could, but that's okay. Just take our word for it. Take our word for it.
Odyssey is Oditseay, so that's roughly Oditseay.
Oditsia. It's almost like it sounds like you're speaking Pig Latin.
that did sound like it. Anything ends with A, right?
Yep.
Yeah. I used to read this this kids series of books. It was called I forget what it was called. It was like Night Trainer Academy or something like that. But I loved it. It was about a kid that his parents didn't love him basically. It's a comedy, by the way, so
that's too
real. But his parents didn't love him, so he runs off and joins wants to be a knight, so he wants to go off and do that. Originally, I thought he was gonna be allowed, but he meets a wizard, and this wizard actually sucks and gives him a pig that speaks Pig Latin, I think. So it's just constantly talking, but only in Pig Latin. And then he meets 2 other knights in training, and one of them's the fat comic relief guy. Another one's a woman who's actually, or a girl, I guess, because they're all kids. A girl in disguise, and she's the smart one and really good at everything. I loved it, man. They had I guess the world building was really funny. Besides the pig speaking Pig Latin, they had their lunch was always so detailed because the author always described what type of fungus was on their lunch. You learned that if it was black fungus, then you shouldn't eat it because that would instantly kill you. If it was green fungus, it was good for you. You know, that was okay. If it was orange fungus, then you'd have X or Y symptoms. I should reread that. I know it was a kid's book, so I'm gonna reread it, man.
They had a specific fungus on their food.
Yeah, well, of course, because this academy actually sucked. It was the worst. They all really wanted to be a knight, but they were taught by the worst teachers, and the headmaster was really bad, and you know.
Standard, man. Sounds pretty cut and dry.
It's pretty standard. Another book that I really liked was Captain Underpants, and that was recently made into a movie that I secretly hoped would be a really good movie, and apparently it was. It got decent reviews.
Captain Underpants.
Oh, you didn't read that one?
No, no, I didn't.
Okay, so the one.
I read some of the I read obviously Animorphs, Goosebumps.
Okay, yeah.
All that stuff. The standard kid books. But I think I got into the grown-up books a little bit earlier. Even when I was pre-10 years old, I was reading some of the darker fantasy books.
Yeah, I
A
started.
really big fan of Dune and that sort of stuff, so I got into like the sci-fi really quickly as well.
Oh, Dune. I started reading like pretty like advanced books. The point of time I really knew that I was reading something that I just shouldn't have been at my age is like I was 12 years old and my friends introduced me to Wheel of Time because my friends were all like huge nerds. So
They still are.
they still are. It's true. But
Mm.
Wheel of Time is definitely not something I would usually attribute to anyone who. Honestly, who like, if they know what they're getting into, I kind of judge people who read Wheel of Time because it's 13 books and all of them are like 1,000 pages. But it's a good series, man. But you definitely need to have the patience for it. I'm surprised that I did.
Take your word for it.
Anyways, on to other nerdier things, different nerdy things. Video games, StarCraft. In the bottom right, as the Red Terran, he is ByuN.
That's right. And in the top left, the Protoss Hope. This is Hurricane. I've actually been. I'm currently reading American Gods because I want to watch the TV show.
Oh yeah.
But I've heard so many good things about the book, and Neil Gaiman in general has been getting a lot of hype around my friendship's book nerd circle.
Oh yeah.
So, and rightfully so. He's a pretty good author. Writes the kind of novels that I like as well. So so far I'm enjoying their American Gods. It's not like it's not like the coming of Jesus as far as books goes, like some people hype it up to be. But it's good so far. And I'm liking it so far, but I actually just finished reading all of the Dresden Files books, and I think like that's like 15 books, I think, but they're not like 1,000 pages long. They're like maybe like I feel like probably a few hundred less than that.
Okay.
It is a very long book series. Yeah, I know, right? Just a casual 15 books.
Yeah.
But I mean, I bought a Kindle
Oh yeah.
around Poland because I wanted to, when I traveled to Poland, I wanted to get a Kindle to read. And that's like exponentially raised the rate that I read books now. Like it's so much easier to read so many more books now that they're, you just tap a screen to flip and it's just a small little thing that actually fits into every single bag that I have. So it's,
I bought one
yeah.
when I thought I was going to be going to Korea for a very long time because I don't want to lug all my books over. But I ended up not going to Korea for a long time. Although I'm here for 3 months now, basically. But I never did as much as I thought I was going
Don't
to.
use it?
I didn't even bring it. I don't think.
Okay. Oh
Yeah,
wow. It's like I've been a paperback guy for a long time. Like I'm an old school person and I like old school things. I'm old fashioned, but I love the feel of a paperback. I like the smell of it and all that sort of stuff. But the Kindle's really like changed my life. I got to say.
Oh, yeah.
I didn't think it would, but it did.
I mean, it is very useful. I definitely know why people want it. I don't know if it gets in here. But like, I
It gets
actually.
a couple pro kills.
And it dies. Okay, rip. But like one last thing about the Kindle, I actually really liked it because I was reading these huge books, right? That were just like, especially when they're hardcover, like they're brand new, like Words of Radiance, like 1,300 pages, something like that. And a hardcover, it's like a huge book. My wrist would actually get really tired, like holding the book. So that's a good reason to go to Kindle. I'm just throwing it out there for anyone who's on the edge.
Also, you can read it. You can read it on a plane or something like that without needing to turn the light on. Like it has a backlit screen. It's good on the eyes. You can change the font size, the font type. It's like literally the best thing. If you're a book reader, fucking get one. Stop doing what you're doing right now and go get one. Anyway, we have a Twilight Council follow-up here for Hurricane. This is actually looking like a pretty popular build in PvT these days, where people open with Stalkers to deflect the Reapers, get an extra couple Stalkers, and then get into Blink really quickly, and then go in a fast third Nexus. It's looking like Hurricane's going for that.
Well, there's been quite the micro scuffle.
Yeah.
This has been kind of cool. If there wasn't
Oh,
a psych...
Oh, guys! Damn. Big pick off there for ByuN.
Yeah.
And now this Stalker is stuck in Terran Town.
That stalker might have been able to take out the Cyclone had it not been repaired. Unfortunately, but it does live. That was some serious micro. If ByuN had gone for a Woodamine as opposed to a Cyclone, I wonder how that would have looked. Militia Corps eats the Woodamine, 2 Stalkers take out the rest of the Marines. I mean, that was surprisingly dangerous for only being a couple of units and also being a Stalker. Like we so used to seeing Adepts being the opener. But no, Stalkers into that Blink. Yeah,
no surprises there to see the Blink on the way in. Robotics facility as well, obviously, Widowmine drops and that sort of thing, pretty popular in TvP. And Hurricane doesn't know that it's actually just straight into tank tech for ByuN here. So the robotics facility you're not going to be. It's not going to be incredibly useful to start things off with. I mean, it makes observers, which are always good, and can get him start to get immortals as well, which he may need as time goes on, depending on this tank count from ByuN. So ByuN knows he's seen 2 stalkers, and he's like, okay, I know what I'm going to be up against. And siege tanks are obviously a lot better a choice than Widow Mines against what Hurricane's making.
Yeah, siege tanks are going to be a huge problem. Not just like defensively cutting Hurricane's aggression short, but also offensively. If they get into this position that he was just abusing right there with the medevac drop, it can be quite difficult to deal with. He does get out of there with the medevac and the Cyclone. Very nicely done. Proxy gateway is being put down. Hurricane played 2 pretty straight up macro games. I guess he proxied 1 game with this proxy Oracle, but that was still off 2 bases. Otherwise, it was really macro games. I'm surprised he's switching to
Yeah, that was on
cheese.
Was that on Odyssey? You did the proxy. I feel like it was Odyssey. Anyway, so Hurricane's warping in a ton of stalkers here, and they have blink. And he's going into the natural, which has 1 siege tank and a bunch of bio. And if he gets his siege tank immediately, he's going to be feeling pretty good about putting pressure on this CC here.
Yeah, that's a nice pickoff. Second tank already out though. Might be better on siege. It has decent DPS, can reposition itself.
And the SCVs being pulled off the line actually helped out ByuN a ton with this defense here. Loses 3 SCVs, but all things considered, he shredded that stalker count. Like, that was actually a pretty good defense.
Yeah, I think it's a very good defense. The Cyclone attack on the left side that continued on also forced warp-ins back at home as opposed to continue the aggression, if it even was possible. And it gets out again, despite them being blink stalkers. Hurricane just tries to shrug things off, I guess, and go for a 3rd base, but it's obviously a lot later than in most builds. And now, as I said, like, he might have to deal with ByuN's aggression.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. ByuN scans, gets rid of an observer as well. So 1 less headache to worry about. And yeah, I didn't expect for Hurricane to go for a big aggressive blink attack. I kind of figured that Hurricane would just go for the more standard, like faster 3rd Nexus and start powering on his forge upgrades and that sort of thing. But, you know, because he's such a strong macro player, and his standard macro games against ByuN were really one-sided once they hit a certain point. ByuN coming forward and chasing some stalkers in the middle of the map. They're on blink cooldown, so he gets 1.
I mean, Hurricane obviously cannot take on this army very well at all. Stim, Tank, Cyclone, but he's got to try and buy some time for that charge. Charge will make it a little bit easier to deal with the tanks, but even then, it might just be a numbers game. There'll be so many Marines to shred through them with combat shields. I don't know, it's going to work.
Combat shield's so important here for these Marines. They have +1 as well. Oh, coming back. Looked like he maybe wanted to try and snipe the medevac or the Cyclone there. That just takes a bit of damage and blinks out. ByuN getting into that abusable position. The tanks are in range of the mineral line.
Such a great position. I mean, he's not abusing the choke here, so the units could come down and try and get the best round possible, but honestly, there's still gas guys and minerals to get through, so it still would be pretty good against charge lots.
Absolutely. And ByuN just slowly but steadily doing damage to Hurricane here. He's actually abandoned the entire mineral line of this natural nexus. Looks like he's going to try and get the back of the units here. A bunch of charge slots being warped in. He has an immortal, of course, as well, and a single sentry for Guardian Shield. And in comes Hurricane.
Target fire, the tanks target fire the stalkers. The Marines even using the tank is a bit more of a choke. This army might be cleaned up, but at a huge sacrifice of Hurricane's army, and there is a big old drop to that 3rd base.
Just a big old-fashioned drop from ByuN here. And Hurricane using what he can to warp in. He actually has some charge lots coming in to help out as well, so he may be able to deflect this with a sentry, giving him Guardian Shield, but as it stands, there's not too many charge lots left now.
Yeah. This reinforcement line might just be enough. Also, note worthy is that ByuN has +1 weapons, whereas Hurricane delayed his forge so long.
Ooh, ByuN!
Didn't chrono it. Ooh, gig. It's gonna survive. It's a-okay, but yeah, I mean, ByuN is gonna even have a 1-1 upgrade lead for like 20 seconds with his +1 armor already finishing. This guy's 3rd CC on the way after, well, I guess successfully denying this 3rd. Didn't kill it, but all the probes are off of it. And on his way to an armory.
For so long, ByuN's 3rd was actually just 1 pixel out from seeing this proxy gateway. He finally does see it with that army as it moves out, by the way. So it's a neat little move there. Finally gets it. And he has Liberators in his army as well, which is more important to this story, as the Liberators are going to be very, very good against what Hurricane has, which is not that many Stalkers with Blink. So he doesn't actually have a ton of anti-air here.
Yeah, 6. 3 in the front lines. 3, I guess, chasing those medevacs. Which lived and unloaded, so the 3rd base could always be under attack. There are Widow Mines now, and that's a big problem.
Yeah, this doesn't seem attackable.
No. Well, those are good force fields.
Ooh, yeah. Nice moves there. Hot pickup from ByuN, but he loses a lot of units before he picks up what's left.
Of course, they once the units are picked up, then I guess the force fields are acting against the Protoss. Those charges are getting shredded. But speaking of shredded, there go the Wood Mines. The Liberators getting tons of shots off. This ain't gonna work. GG.
GG. Also on the other side of the map, ByuN was attacking and almost certainly going to kill the third Nexus at the same time.
Yeah, exactly.
So, well played. So Hurricane went for a bit of a different game there, and it ended up going in ByuN's favor. So maybe he might want to switch it up and play more of a standard sort of defensive late game orientated PvT, as they went very, very well for him again in ByuN the first time they faced each other.
It did. I mean, I liked the aggression in the beginning because I just thought the micro was really cool, but obviously the follow-up was successfully countered by ByuN.
Yeah, I feel like if you're gonna micro war someone, try and do it against someone that's not ByuN. He's,
yeah.
you know, he may not be the greatest all-round player, where he's like, you know, a 10 out of 10 in every single aspect, but I would say his micro is, you know, memes aside, top 3 or the best. Yeah.
I think so. I think of all the great Terrans we have right now, Innovation's macro always has been. ByuN has been micro for quite some time. I think Gumiho maybe can be given the builds medal, you know, 10 out of 10 on the builds and shenanigans.
For the, he comes up with some pretty crazy stuff.
Yeah, and then, well, T-Way also does pretty crazy stuff, but I feel like it's like one part weird, like, pushes, but 2-part flawless execution. I don't know what to call that. Because TY is the other great Terran we have right now. The greats.
Yeah, and TY, if this was his TvP, he'd have a lot more Liberators. He loves Liberators in this matchup.
That was quick.
Ooh, hello, ByuN. Hello. Hello.
Yeah, in the top left, sending out to be out quite early. It is the Red Terran. Whoopsie daisy. Hold on here. Before we do that. There we go. It's the Red Terran, ByuN.
And in the bottom right, looking like he's going to have to deal with some Proxa Reaperino. This is Hurricane. I mean, ByuN hasn't gotten a gas just yet. He'll be wanting it soon if he wants to make Reapers.
Is he? Thank you to Louis Hu, Wee Woo, for the 19-month resub.
Yeah.
It's like a very lazy ambulance sound.
Yeah, like one of those, you know, a sad robot from Star Wars, or like Bastion, something like that.
I get you. Yeah. Well, this probe is going to scout something's up. Okay, decides not to go. What? That SCD just had a midlife crisis in the middle of the map. That's so important too. That's a lot of mining this early stage. Okie dokie then.
Alrighty. Hurricane's going to come in and go, where's your everything? He sees 2 gas to be mined, sees a lack of barracks. This actually might be a proxy 1-1-1, which would be cool. And he did get those double gases, so he can make a Reaper to start things off with.
It felt like... I couldn't tell you the exact build order here, but it felt like ByuN actually changed his mind about something. Well, obviously the SCV went back home, so that one was obvious, but I mean more so as to whether or not he's going to proxy a factory. He does choose to.
Yeah, ByuN does this sometimes. He does it on Proxima as well. Not always against... I mean, yes, against Protoss and against Terrans as well. He's a really cheeky, weird guy sometimes. Hurricane...
What was that probe scout? It was like, you know, I might scout for proxy. No.
Yeah, I was just about to mention the probe as well. I was looking at it on the other side of the map. Reaper comes in, obviously very, very early, no mothership core or anything like that, and he's going to pick off 1 probe, nearly getting 2. Nice control from Hurricane.
He knows where the pylons are. He can kind of safely dodge around the left side. I guess that probe was only to scout for a bunker, because he wasn't... Because I guess it could have been Marines into a faster factory.
There's actually no escape for that Reaper. Like, this isn't one of those mains that you can jump out the side. You need to go down the front door. And Hurricane smacked it back.
That's an important part, though. I think ByuN's okay with losing a single Reaper to a Photon Overcharge. That means that the Cyclone doesn't have to deal with a Photon Overcharge or even a pylon at the front. The pylons have been all placed in the main so far.
The Adept Shade finishes, and the Adept sees this barracks. Hasn't seen the factory yet, or the units.
There it is.
There they are. Hello.
depth can't do very much about it. The pylon on the high ground could potentially be useful. Like, that Cyclone is on the left side of the bunker. It's definitely going to get hit by it, but there is no Photon Overcharge, and even then, I don't think that would be quite enough to stop the bunker, of course. It might hit the bunker, but I think the bunker was going to finish. No! Snipes!
Oh, gets the SCV there. That's actually a nice move. That's a very, very important snipe there for Hurricane.
Yeah. Well, she has enough energy for an overcharge. She has to bait him into his position first.
Starting to shave into this Marine count. Second Cyclone coming in to help out, though. No lock-on into the Mothership core. She's been using ByuN's been using the Cyclones to just deal with the gateway units. And now she's being locked onto. Recall to save.
Okay, well, at least she lives. 20 more seconds to another Photon Overcharge, which I don't think is going to be used to save the natural. Maybe the main base? Natural. Oh, that was dangerous. That was a Cyclone lock, like, actually when it chooses to kill something, it usually can, you know, but it's going to die.
Yeah, Hurricane's his Nexus is very, very, very low, but he has a Stalker count here. Oh, 2 Stalkers versus 1 Cyclone might do okay if he controls well, but no, the Cyclone's actually doing insane DPS.
Yeah.
And these Stalkers are already so bruised. He needs to warp in some fresh ones.
2 more Stalkers should do the trick. That Nexus just a little bit too healthy to try and focus fire as well, and ByuN unable to get that Nexus. And not that many probes, 2-2.
And ByuN's currently in the middle of what I like to call the float of shame, sending the unsuccessful proxy back home. If he got the Nexus, I'd be feeling very, very good about ByuN's position, but he didn't. So, sucks.
Yeah, ByuN was, like, he was aggressive in the last series they played, and he was always very good about putting a bunker back at home. You know, there's, you know, I would say even a high chance that the Protoss player is going to deal with the proxy and the aggression and then expand and get you later, but sometimes, including, like, you know, for instance, that last game, Hurricane has been aggressive, has looked for a counterattack opportunity, and that bunker is even saved ByuN in one of those games in the last series. But, there's a Warp Prism with Stalkers, and there's nothing in the bunker, so it's a fake.
Yeah. It's just to look like he's safe. Yeah. He's not actually. Mind games.
This is pretty bad. He doesn't even, like, have a Cyclone? Oh, there it is.
He has a Cyclone walking home right now, or wheeling home, whatever. The factory made a Widow Mine. Actually, I'm going to cancel the Widow Mine, but either way, the Stalkers are batting on this factory, and it's not going to be able to escape.
Yeah. It died. It was shot down before it could burrow, and Observer's back home anyways. Adepts now warped in. Are going to be able to help take out the Cyclone. The artillery was used. The Raven's useless. 1 Marine in that bunker. 1.
Yeah. Oh, no. And now the Warp Prism, how does he deal with this? If the Warp Prism wants to go into the main. He has a Viking, I suppose. Would be nice.
Yeah. It looks like maybe ByuN has held on. Hurricane just, I mean, you know, he only had so much production off of those 3 gateways. It would take a long time to bring an Immortal over. But that was truly scary. Now ByuN's production is up and running.
Ooh. Prism taking a little bit of hurt from this Viking. Needs to unload.
Oh, the baits.
Got him. Baited.
Yeah. Okay, the Raven is not too bad on the health, so it survives without having to burn its energy. But, what do we have here? Pretty quick robotics bay. Maybe some disruptor drops?
Oh, that'd be so sick. I'd love to see him immediately get Prism speed from this robotics bay and just start the micro battles.
Yeah. You know, if that was the old auto turret, I think that's ByuN would have placed down the Raven, but yeah. Standard Thermal Lance. I really didn't expect super fast Colossus, but that's the way he's gonna go. Well, super fast considering there's a proxy to start the game off.
Yeah, if you reset the game to the point after that proxy, it's pretty quick. Fast Colossus builds pretty good in PvT. I think they were popularized by stats back in the day. A lot of Protosses started to pepper it into their own play. A lot of Protosses get a couple of Disruptors first and then Colossi, but Hurricane going straight into Colossus. Double Forge as well.
Right, yeah. Being a little bit greedy. ByuN has Stim. He's getting Combat Chosen +1. He has a Raven for maybe just a very important point defense drone, maybe auto turrets, we'll see. But that Warp Prism was not ever truly dealt with. There's not really that much to take care of it. The Viking was never remade. Reinforcements are piling up, so I guess they can respond.
A couple well-placed pylons actually covering the attack path here for ByuN if he wants to go into the third or into the natural. Military Core is ready on that overcharge trigger as well.
Yeah. A little bit too much for ByuN to take on, even with that upgrade. You know, still without combat shields, so that's probably more important. And lets things be. Not really an opportunity to drop either. Hurricane clear as he is. But he was guessing for the drop, even though there's only one medevac, so he was able to get a pylon.
Takes up the Observer as well, the Raven giving him detection. And he's actually rallying a lot of units towards the third Nexus as well, so it looks like ByuN wants to hit in two places at once. Hurricane senses a disturbance in the force, though. He looks ready for it.
That Raven is an immortal. Yeah, he is ready for it. It's overcharge pretty perfect.
Oh, this medevac in the main. There's a full medevac just got picked up by a bunch of stalkers.
Oh, well. You see the carcass of it, but there's also a warp prism that floated right over ByuN's army, so at least he took care of that. No more worry there. Yeah,
both players taking damage from each other non-deliberately there. ByuN's got +1, he has stim, combat shield, etc, etc. He's getting +1 armor now, but the clock's ticking for when stuff starts to get scary for the Protoss. He's getting double upgrades, starting to chrono boost out charge as well, and the Colossus count is starting to get up there as well. I mean, he's only got 1 so far, but sorry, he's got 2, and a third one's about to join in.
ByuN has to remake a factory to even get an armory for his upgrades. Point of entry was used, and that is a nice concave. Can't go up the ramp though. That's pretty dangerous. That's pretty bold.
He gets 1 Colossus, and with the reinforcement, ByuN might be able to engage these Stalkers. The Adepts, the meat shield just isn't here. No, it looks like there's too much here from Hurricane. It loses 1 of the Colossus in this engagement. And a lot of his gateway units as well.
I thought ByuN was going to try and target on that last Colossus, but he's ended up trading out with whatever gateway units he could. And that was a dangerous little point in time right there. But that was a dangerous point in time for Hurricane, but it was also probably his weakest. He's on his way to a 4th base, but also finishing up 1-1 and charge. He'll have another Colossus already. He could maybe even afford a 2nd Robo. And ByuN is once again at that position. Feels very similar to the last series where he just can't really respond to Colossus that well. He's now trying to get Vikings off of a single starport. Up until now, he couldn't even get a 2nd starport if he wanted. No factory. And that's going to be a tough time getting to a decent Viking count because Hurricane's not stopping his Colossus production.
Yeah, and he's also getting the Templar Archives as well, just to go make things from bad to worse as far as splash damage goes for the Protoss. And ByuN's taking the high ground back, and his army is, you know, sizable, but it's not as good as Hurricane's right now. Charge lots Stalkers and Colossus are really all you need. I guess Sentries are pretty good as well. Sentries very, very good with that Guardian Shield. Yeah. And now he's starting to throw in those Disruptors and Templar.
A little bit of a run by here. Literally ran across the map, dealt with by reinforcements. The main army is pushed away very easily. It absolutely cannot take on the Colossus, even with a good concave in the middle of the map. The numbers are just too good.
Yeah, that's right. Hurricane's got Archons now. Like he's getting Disruptors and Storm. It's like why have 1 splash damage when you can have all the splash damage? It's gonna be very, very nice.
He's safe to do that. ByuN's not really in a position to threaten catching him at a weak point anymore. You know, if he had 10 Vikings right now, maybe. You know, maybe you're punished for trying to get 2-2 and Storm. But he doesn't, so...
no, he's only got 4. He's getting ship weapons as well for those 4 Vikings.
Yeah. You know, ByuN... He could maybe play just the macro game here, hope they both get maxed out, hope that Hurricane is too hesitant to move in when he has a definite army advantage. And if he does, you know, that's going to be eventually a 4th base, it's going to be a 2nd starport, ghosts, things that he's... it's going to take a long time to get to.
And these charge lots are actually doing a fair bit of damage to the SCVs here at the 3rd base of ByuN. Army a little bit slow to respond there, a little bit out of position, loses 7 SCVs, goes from, you know, in the mid-50s to the high 40s here as far as worker count goes. Oh, the Vikings are so important for ByuN, and one of them gets taken out here by the Stalker. Whoop, he only gets a Colossus, but not quite. There it is.
Yeah.
One Colossus shaved off.
Not a bad start. Hurricane realizing that his stalker count was a little bit too low. 17 SCVs have died during this, by the way, just to those 3 zealots.
Ugh.
He's going to be able to cancel a 5th base, but that is a 5th. Not a 4th. He's going to need a better concave. He's going to try and get on top of the ramp. Maybe he can take a fight up here.
He's still balled up. Oh, the Vikings getting target fired. No. Bye-bye Vikings.
Yeah.
And ByuN's army is so stimmed in the... Oh, the storms
okay.
and feedbacks. That's just too much. GG. Hurricane ties up series 1 apiece.
Yeah.
Wow.
As soon as you run into those storms, it's GG right out.
Got him.
Well, that's going to send us into the last game of the series of the group and of the night. First, a quick break. I think the last map is like... Actually, I don't know what the last map is. I'll have to figure that one out. See you guys in 2 minutes. Welcome back. It is the final game of the series. This will determine the second place winner of the group who advances on to the round of 4 and into the money with Solar, Scarlet, and Gumiho. In the bottom left, as the Red Terran, he is ByuN.
And top right, with a pretty clinical game in Ascension Aya, this is Hurricane. And this is it, Proxima, for all the beans. One map to decide all. No more games after this one.
ByuN's proxy not quite working out last game. I felt like it was so close every single time. No overcharge, no pylon, killing the stalkers, almost killed the mothership core. But Hurricane did a great job of holding on, and it seemed to be that his macro game is where he's going to take the win. That's what happened in the last series. We gave him a 2-0. So that's what I hope he does here again on Proxima.
Yeah, ByuN just really all over that big Stalker attack on Abyssal, and really took the game by the reins after that. But, you're absolutely right. Just Hurricane's strengths clearly seem to be lying in that late game.
Yeah, or ByuN's weaknesses.
Or ByuN's weaknesses, yeah.
Yeah. And ByuN's really not... I mean, he did the cheese versus Jon Snow as well, the bunker rush and whatever, but not looking quite as genius versus Protoss as, say, Gumiho would. When I see Gumiho cheese and then maybe it doesn't work, I still have such faith in him to follow up with such power.
Yeah, to turn it into a game.
Yeah.
It's Gumiho's special power.
Yeah, exactly. It's a special power. But ByuN, not so much. Like, ByuN can make micro look great, and he can win a game off of cheese, like, instantly. But I don't know so much about following it up.
If Gumiho was a superhero, he'd be one of the superheroes that, like a villain would rip his arms off, and then he's like, and now I defeat you with my legs. And then his arms grow back, and he's ready to fight again another day.
So, I mean...
He'd be like a salamander man.
There you
like
go.
That.
I was like, what animal regrows
salamander.
Parts, man? Yeah, salamander. Yeah, absolutely correct.
Salamander turn. So many
like
nicknames.
We don't get cool nicknames, you know. I feel like Taste and Artosis kind of have the nicknames down.
They're good at
for
it.
The English speakers of the world.
I think they. I think maybe Wolf had Lean Octopus.
Ah.
That was one. That was a good one.
That's pretty good.
Oh, ByuN's oversaturated one gas. Oh, triggered.
And he lost his Reaper. Did it actually scout what he just canceled? It did. So I don't know what that was. Stargate, potentially. Yeah, I guess it was a Stargate. He canceled it. Soik. Go for the Robo instead.
Yeah. Bit of mind games happening here. Robo and Twilight Council for Hurricane instead. And ByuN, he's going for ye old medevac drop with the Widowmines.
Yeah, but reacted Widowmines.
Reacted Widowmines, yeah. So more Widowmines than normal. Usually, the most common variation of this drop is no reactor on the factory. In fact, the reactor is normally on the barracks. You're pumping out 2 Marines at once while getting single Widowmine production. But yeah. This is pretty cool.
Well, if he uses that tech lab for stim, then it will be faster stim. Oh, Widowmine gets an adept. Don't usually expect it right there. So the thing is, like, you know, canceling a Stargate sometimes feels really like, I don't know, like canceling anything, I should say, not just a Stargate, feels pointless because the second scout comes with a Widowmine drop, like 9 times out of 10 for the Terran player. It's such a common build. Yeah. So they get that follow-up scout. But I think there's a chance that if they see a Stargate, that they play a very defensive, like, Widowmines in the mineral lines and Viking instead of medevac. But you know, if you cancel the Stargate and they continue with a Widowmine drop, they're going to scout you, and they might still get damage done, obviously. But it looks like one Stalker is enough for ByuN to say not worth. I'll wait until my other medevac distracts you.
Oh man, all these Widowmines. I mean, it kind of harks back to that line from like the original Star Wars movie, where Obi-Wan Kenobi's like, you know, the Sand people frighten easily, but they'll be back and in greater numbers. That's how I feel like Terran are.
Yeah, exactly. You frighten easily. Yeah.
Yeah.
I agree.
The medevacs can be shoot back, but they'll be back.
Unfortunately, there is an observer. So, you know, up until that point, he was still under the guise, I think, that there was a Stargate. I think that was actually when he scouted there wasn't. If I'm not mistaken. So he was probably hoping that was safe enough because he saw no Oracle, of course. But an observer took care of it. This Widowmine might get a very sneaky transfer kill.
Yeah, the one at the third Nexus. I'm looking at that one.
Yeah,
I'm actually stealing that. I don't ever think about it, but I really should do this. Normally when I drop a Widowmine, I try and block the Nexus or something like that, but I think that could be juicier, potentially.
Yeah.
I think a big probe transfer.
So I guess like pros and cons of what ByuN is doing. If this was a Stargate opener, ByuN by almost overcommitting to medevac drops, actually like Oracle only has so many relations, right? So a lot of these Widowmines are still alive, but with Phoenixes, the medevacs are probably dead. In this case, I guess the Widowmines mostly die, but the medevacs live. Yeah, there we go. Because this one is coming home. So he does have plenty to work with, but then boosts over an observer when stalkers are on the way here.
Oh no!
Oh god!
Oh man, that's almost GG right there. That's like an insane pickoff there for Hurricane.
Yeah.
That's 2 full medevacs units going down in the blink of an eye, pun not intended.
Jeez.
And the Warp Prism is just going straight in towards ByuN's face, and Hurricane's going to start putting the hurt on.
Oh, ByuN even, that's going to be a cancel, obviously. The good news is that his Widowmine finally got a decent shot, so he's killed 8 probes back. That was one that might have, I think almost died, but didn't. Okay, well, it's going to die now. But the Stalker count is so large, there's no tanks. Luckily, his reduction's okay, so he has another army to work with, but is it really enough?
I don't know. Oh, Combat Shield's going to get denied here. Blink's starting to come into play. Hurricane reinforcing with his Prism, which is out of range of anything, so he can easily keep reinforcing this attack. Liberator tries to siege up, but Hurricane just targets it down. And slowly but surely, I feel like Hurricane is going to start breaking the back of ByuN here. Although he does have Stim, he does have Marauders. Oh, actually, does push him out of the main. He needs to keep him away from the production.
Yeah. There was definitely a moment there where Widowmine got too much splash damage. That might have been a big difference, but Hurricane still has a lot of power in his warp-ins. He's on 3 bases, even if he is only at 52 probes. He's denied production, not just of barracks having to be lifted, but also add-ons, killed/cancelled. ByuN might hold, but Hurricane, he's transferring to Colossus. He's still getting big wins out of this. And
another medevac goes down. And nice blink macro from Hurricane. Very nice blink macro from Hurricane, actually. He wants to stack the Stalkers alive and doing more and more damage to ByuN. Actually, kills a barracks as well, by the way, and he is in range of a lot of the production, but now that there's 3 Liberators out, this might be done with.
Yeah. ByuN playing a little bit risky by sending that 3rd Liberator out and the medevac. I mean, he knows there's an observer close by. Maybe he saw the exact positioning. I don't know. That might have skirted the vision of it. Still dangerous. So Hurricane has, up until this point, been putting all of his reinforcements on the front lines. But he built a Colossus back here. I think he's got an Immortal and a Sentry as well. 2 Colossus even. Or Prism is successfully denied. But I don't think this Liberator... Well, his Liberator might get some damage done. This drop. It's Widowmines. No? That one.
It does borrow. Oh, that's a lot of probes, actually. 7! That's about as good as it gets for a single Widowmine.
That is very nice. That was really well timed, too. The Colossus attacking only 1, but the Stalker is just so... They're just really close to being able to defend it. A little too far behind. This one is successfully defended, and the Liberator's going to have to wait for another opportune moment, but ByuN pushes this attack back at the very least. Now it's the 3rd CC.
Yeah, he's making a game out of it, good old ByuN. He was like a hair's breadth away from getting tapped out here, but making a game out of it. That counter damage with the Widow Mines really gave him a fighting chance here. He's equal in the worker count, which is great for the Terran, considering the Protoss has 3 Nexus. He needs that 3rd CC, though.
Yeah. Yeah, Hurricane definitely had a lot of spikes there. And of course, similar to the last couple of macro games, you know, the biggest problem for ByuN is just dealing with Colossus tech. You know, they don't... There's not a lot of fodder for them right now, as we're looking at the army here, but ByuN's not in that concave position ready to capitalize on something like that. So it is just going to go to, you know, mid-late game. And in this game, in particular, it's going to be Liberators instead of Vikings.
Yeah, going more the TY style, getting himself advanced ballistics for the Liberators. There's extra range on those Liberators. And starting to pepper in those upgrades as well. Whereas Hurricane's going for ye old, you know, charge lot, 4th Nexus. He's going for what he tends to make in this matchup. And of course, we've already brought up how strong Hurricane is at this point of the game in PvT. He's been showing us time and time again against ByuN how good he is at late game PvT, or rather, you know, we don't know if it's Hurricane's strength or ByuN's weakness, or maybe both. But at this part of the game, we haven't seen ByuN win yet. So let's see if that changes here. It is the final map, and his time is now if he wants to start pulling in all of his TvP skills.
Well, it certainly is going to be a different game. There's no more, like, insistence on 3-basing it to win. That's really been his main problem, is, like, well, first of all, trying to be aggressive in, like, 1 base and not working. But then, trying to be super aggressive on 3 bases and not quite working. So that, you know, any chance of a real macro game, any chance of, like, a real late game Viking, Ghost, Bio army versus Storm, Colossus, Gateway army is not really in the cards. This game... He might have been denied the 3rd for so long, but he kind of makes up for it / confirms a late game with a really fast 4th CC. And we're going to be actually getting a ByuN that is more prepared to take on the late game.
And also a ByuN with advanced ballistics on Proxima Station, where his Liberator is going to safely be able to chip away at these probes in the back. Naturally doing a ton of damage here. Looks like actually Hurricane doing a nice prism drop, getting some SCV damage done himself, while trying to hit the front with the majority of his forces.
Yeah. There's actually a lot of action going down everywhere. They've managed to reduce each other's worker count to roughly the same, at about 50. Liberator over here, Liberators up here. More Zealots being warped in over here. Poor Liberator trying to take out a War Prism. That's going to take you forever. You suck at that. A lot about the mining.
The anti-air of the Liberator is hilarious. And we see that they are starting to clean up these Stalkers, sorry, not Stalkers, these charge lots slowly but surely. The Liberators of ByuN on the other side of the map still racking up their probe kills as well.
Yeah,
Both players are just destroying each other's economies.
Yeah. 10 kills over here, 19, 20. Jeez, 20 kills over there on that Liberator. Very nicely done. And he feels forced to go into this choke. He has Storm, but is a little bit delayed. Decides not to go for it.
Not the greatest Storm ever. ByuN breaks off 2 medevacs to try and go for a drop. This is dangerous because there are, of course, Blink Stalkers on the field. And he's just used boost as well. Ugh.
Jeez, that's so dangerous.
Oh, God. Yeah. I mean, ByuN is up about this much army supply that's in these medevacs. I'm boxing the medevacs, by the way. I'm not the observer, but just saying that these 2 medevacs worth of supply is what ByuN is up in as far as army goes.
I had them clicked on just to see if they would die. They were skirting the edge of Hurricane's vision for so long. Feedback, Stalkers, so many things that have killed them. They don't really do... I mean, actually, they get like 7 probes, so damage is done. 11. 12.
Yeah. 12. Damn, that's worth almost. That's pretty good. And yeah, I mean, Hurricane's not being able to close this one out, and ByuN's starting to snowball a little bit, Zombie Grub. I'm actually feeling like I like ByuN's position. He has a ton of Liberators. There's no Tempests or anything for Hurricane here, so his anti-Liberator potential is Stalkers and Storms, I suppose.
Yeah. And ByuN really has reached that count of like 8+, where Stalkers aren't going to cut it anymore. You're going to have to find them out of position. You're going to have to go to Tempest, really, to try and break a position for sure. This is not going to be broken. Colossus can do an okay job trying to take out the Bio while the Stalkers take out the Liberators, but it'd be just too much.
We just saw an attempt there to try and break the Liberator range from Liberator, what do you call it, like siege line. And Hurricane just lost a few gateway units for his troubles. The Bio were just ready. They shredded the Stalkers when they came too close. And I like that ByuN's dropping a sensor tower here because this is a very strong map for, you know, prism play and that sort of thing, drop play in general for both races. Oh, speaking of drop play, ByuN very nearly losing more full medevacs to Hurricane, but manages to escape death just there.
Dang. ByuN did so much economic damage, by the way, that at one point Hurricane was down to like 27 probes, something like that. So he scans a gold base, hoping that it wasn't there. It's not. Hurricane couldn't afford a 5th base, plus everything else he wanted to. Remaking probes, remaking the stalkers he loses every time he takes on the liberators. Now trying to get up to Tempest. I think he has to, but I think it's going to be a very slow, painful process. He's down 50 army supply. He's no longer, I guess, like, chroning his upgrades. They're stuck at 2-2 to 2-2.
Oh, move in through the middle of the map here with ByuN. 3 of his dropships that are full, looking for that 4th Nexus, but it gets deflected by some High Templar.
Yeah. He has to, like, EMP his own medevacs, fantasy style. These things have a lot of energy.
Yeah, they sure do. God, I miss Fantasy.
Yeah, he was a cool player.
He was. Oh, I mean, he is, but... so the rock's being broken down here for ByuN to make things a little bit easier to attack this 4th base. Doesn't have to rely on medevacs or anything like that.
Yeah. Still dangerous to go in against this.
ByuN is skyrocketing in army supply, by the way. He's up almost 40 now.
He just kind of tries to bully his way through. If that was like nothing but Marauders, he probably does, but those Marines die to 2 storms. But that does successfully draw the entire army out of position, so now he can advance with his Liberators to count of 13 with Ghosts as well. Everything is covering everything, and Hurricane needs to just build his Tempests.
He's making 3 at a time right now. Oh, the Ghost coming forward. These MPs could be sick, but no, instead a feedback going down, taking out one of those Ghosts immediately. Oh, a lovely storm from Hurricane from the north, but there's an EMP from ByuN to take out these 2 storming Templars. Still a few, many storms actually left for Hurricane. The Tempest's actually in trouble here.
He's just gonna ram through all the storms, man. Now he's the one with the Concave, he's the one with the Liberators, and the Tempests have no protection.
Yeah. I mean, ByuN's in this really horrible spot for Hurricane to try and break here. He has to run through the Liberators.
The Ghosts can take out a Tempest.
Yeah, they sure can.
They're gonna do it. They're the only thing left behind. The Bio's just running forward, taking out the Nexus. Dangerous, too. Hurricane does have those backup storms. Takes out a huge chunk of the army.
Yeah, I think he has 1 left on this Templar. And
the goal.
ByuN is barreling through this 3rd Nexus. I mean, the 3rd Nexus does go down. There's that last storm from Hurricane. And here come the rest of the Liberators again, keeping Hurricane's majority of his army out. Oh, they're moving forward into the Liberators now.
Dang, that Archon took out like a lot of bio.
Yeah.
Oh, if only Tempest had Splash. Those Liberators. Oh, man, what a thing.
I think they used to have something like that, but it got patched out.
Yeah, right? Well, the Liberators did end up sieging up the 4th base. The 3rd base ended up dying. Hurricane down to 36 probes, and no place to mine with them. So really down to like 0. ByuN lifts his 5th, now is a gold. I think this might just be curtains.
He's wearing the daddy pants in this match for sure right now, ByuN. Showing that he can actually play late game TvP against Hurricane and doing a very good job of it, going more TY style for the heavy Liberator count.
Yeah.
And having all these Ghosts with all these EMPs, I mean, Tempests are still dangerous, but everything else Protoss related, not so much.
The Ghosts even take out the Zealots, there's so many of them. There's so few Zealots. He scans and sees really only 2 High Templars. He's trying to get those in the EMP.
Yeah, what's left of the mining of Hurricane's been denied here by ByuN's Liberators. Hurricane's actually not mining at all right now.
Yeah, that's not too great. The EMPs that go forward, they actually did not get the High Templars, so Storm goes down.
But ByuN still has so much left, and he is still producing, whereas Hurricane, he's broke. He's out of money.
Yeah.
He's not replenishing anything right now. What he has on the field needs to end the game for him, and I don't see that happening, Zombie Grub.
Yeah. I think like a minute ago, it was only down 20 army supply, but that was very quickly changed. Now down 60, 70 army supply. Huge concave, just weathers the storm, literally.
Literally, yeah. GG, and look at that. I mean, what a great game. That was actually a sick game as far as entertainment value goes. Sure, there was some sloppiness. There was medevacs being picked off. It wasn't one of those clinical, I'm an elitist that only likes pure perfection games of StarCraft, but as far as entertainment value goes, that one was nearly all over. Hurricane nearly won it with a big Blinkstalker aggression after picking up 2 full medevacs.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
ByuN just turned it into a sick game.
Gosh.
Beautiful.
That is absolutely correct. Like, ByuN lost 2 medevacs against a Blink Stalker attack. How did he survive?
Yeah. I even said, like, that's almost GG right there.
Yeah.
Because he lost, like, nearly 20 or 30 army supply. And then the Blinkstalkers were just so high in count. And they had the Prism support and everything. And it was like,
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, 99 Terrans out of 100 would have died right there. But
I wonder if it was a different
ByuN's
map.
something special.
Like,
Yeah,
how
that
would
too.
that have worked? That going up a single ramp and that choke and just limited space really hurt the Blink Stalker attack.
Really, it couldn't ask for a better game to end the evening on, but unfortunately, that is the end of the games tonight.
Yes.
ByuN will be going through with Solar to the next stage of the BTSL.
Exactly. Joined by Gumiho and Scarlet. If you guys want to add to the prize pool, if any of these guys are your favorite players ever, go to !Matcherino. The prize, the codes might just be used up, but you can try it, BTSL 10, or else just throw in some of your own cash to help out these players. But that will be, actually, I'm going to look up when exactly that is. I think it's important to note. Currently, we have it scheduled for Wednesday, so only in a couple of days here. So that'll be fun.
Oh wow, not too far away.
Yeah. We'll do a real shout-outs and goodbyes after this quick break. Thanks everyone for watching. Again, congratulations to ByuN and Solar. Hey everyone, so that's it for today. Congratulations to Solar and ByuN for making it through to join Gumiho and Scarlet. That'll be played out on Wednesday at 4 a.m. PDT, I believe. Hopefully Riff will be back for that. He was, I guess sick is the best way to put it. Couldn't get any sleep. So Maynard graciously, joined in with only a few hours notice. So thank you very much for that.
And only a few hours sleep myself. It's got to do what you got to do. I mean, I never want to say no to an opportunity to custom create in StarCraft. Don't get to do it every day.
Yeah.
So.
It's pretty cool. I do like it.
It is. It's a good job. It's good.
If you guys enjoyed the content, please consider subscribing. At least follow the channel down below. I think we had a new sub, HavocZen. There we go. HavocZen is a new sub, Twitch Prime sub. Thank you very much. And maybe we missed Menins as well for 9 months, but I think we got everything else. 7-year Twitch. Yeah, I think we got everything else. So thank you for everyone who subbed and resubbed today. I'll be in the Casper tournament in like 3 or 4 hours, something like that. So that'll be interesting. And BaseTradeTV will be back tomorrow for the Corsair Cup. We're casting every day this week, I believe. So no shortage casting.
Are you loaded up on caffeine? Are you ready?
I don't know what I'm gonna do, Maynard. I don't know if I should I'm gonna try and nap, or if I'm actually gonna try and practice, or.
You know what I did? I tried to nap, and it ended up into me just watching a movie in bed. And then because usually I just put something on because like the sound of a movie that I've seen already usually puts me to sleep.
Yeah.
I think I ended up watching the whole thing because I was like too wired or thinking about it too much, like the tournament a little bit too much or something like that. And then I ended up just getting out of bed and just practicing some more, grinding my cheesy builds.
Yeah.
And then when the games actually happened, I was so nervous that they ended up turning to shit anyway.
Yeah. I know we're allowed to stream our games, and I thought about it, even though I'll be like super tired.
I streamed mine.
Yeah, but I actually like, if I'm nervous, if I can't draw, because that's what I usually do if I'm nervous, draw, then I usually like sing along to my music. I don't want people seeing that. God. Although, am I really nervous?
You know what?
I don't even know.
I've heard you sing. You're not that bad.
Well, I don't even sing. I literally just like move my lips, right? Like what Harson does, I guess.
Oh yeah, mouthing the words. I do that too. I do it on stream actually sometimes.
I think Harson's pretty infamous for it at this point. Anyways, enough about that. So that'll be later tonight on, of course, a different channel. But BaseTradeTV will be back casting every single day this week, sometimes even a double day, I believe. So a lot to look forward to. Again, if you want to contribute to the prize pool for this tournament, as the finals are on Wednesday, !Matcherino. If you want to contribute to the mega fundraiser, it's !Mega. And I think that's it. Maynard, you can do your shout outs first.
Let's see. I'm streaming in about 9 hours, slightly less than 9 hours. If you guys are going to be around for that, it's a pretty good time for America. Not so great for Europe. I'm sorry about that. But it's going to be a Protoss day. I'm going to be doing a scouting focus goal, so I'm pretty excited about that because I always die to stuff that catches me by surprise. Pretty bad at Protoss, just trying to get better. Going to be playing Protoss for the rest of the week, so you can catch that at twitch.tv/Maynard. And then after that, I will be back to the glorious Terran race and going a little bit more try-hard. Because I've got to say, that caster tournament inspired me to get good and stop resting on my laurels. So I really want to start grinding Terran again and just, put my best foot forward, use my strongest race, and get stronger. You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
And I'm going to be streaming that practice. I might even start getting some coaching, stuff like that. And yeah, if you're interested in the journey of a mid to high mid tier player getting good, then feel free to follow twitch.tv/Maynard.
Very cool. So, for me, you can follow me on Twitter at CG Gaming, on Twitch, ZombieGrub, and YouTube, ZombieGrub. And, I'll be playing in the tournaments in like a couple hours. And I'll also be casting the first day of the Ballistics tournament Monday as well, Monday nights. It's a North American time, so it's like Tuesday morning for me. So that'll be kind of fun, casting with Rapid Casting on a different channel. I'll tweet that out, so follow me on Twitter. And that's about it. Follow the channel down below. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you tomorrow for the Corsair Cup. Bye.